two touch, yeah, we're locked in. I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.
Hello and welcome to episode 27 of One Game at a Time. I am Seb O'Neill, joined as always by three of my co-hosts. One returning from a bush somewhere, Alessio Carocci. Alessio, where were you last week? We were worried.
I was in a car park of the restaurant that we're going for my birthday, and it just had a good light, and it was like, I guess the car park is behind the restaurant, so it might look dodgy, but yeah, had a good light, so I thought it was all right.
Agree to disagree. Also joined by Marc Talbot. Mark, you avoided a question last week because I forgot. If you had to listen to one Beatles song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, I actually did narrow this down. Hello, Seb. Happy birthday for last week, Alessio. Hope it was a good one. For me, it would probably be something like Hey Jude or Let It Be.
Simple man, simple song. Also joined by David Grant. David, how are you this week?
Yeah, good, thanks. Sorry, just flicking through this week's programme of the week, the Croatia Raiders Adelaide United game. Yeah, just doing a bit of reading while I was waiting. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yourselves?
Very, very well. I've got no funny question to ask you, David. You're funny enough.
You could ask him about that shirt in the background.
Yeah, go on.
Have you asked me?
Oh, yeah. Well, what's the shirt?
Besides a prison jumper.
That is a match-worn Queen's Park shirt. Queen's Park being a championship side. And I was just mentioning off air that it's a shirt that I've always wanted Sir Alex Ferguson's signature on, because he is one of the former players of that club. And I've been around when Alex Ferguson's been around, and obviously I've got the shirt, but I've never had the shirt when he's been around and never had the opportunity. But he could sign in any one of those white lines on there. It's a Queen's Park shirt.
So, Sir Alex Ferguson, if you're listening, David would love that shirt signed.
Come on, Sir Alex. I know you're out there. This is the one podcast that you would listen to, Sir Alex. I know you're there.
As always, we'll start with our pick of the week, and we'll start with who do I want to pick on? David.
Okay, my pick of the week is the big news from Campbelltown City that they're delighted to announce the appointment of Daniel Mullen as their senior coach for the 2025 season. There he is. Doesn't he look resplendent? Daniel's been a senior team player with Campbelltown since 2018, following his expansive professional career in China, and also, of course, in the A-League. He played for 4 clubs in the A-League: Adelaide United, Western Sydney Wanderers, Newcastle Jets, and Wellington Phoenix. He's also featured for the Oileroos, the Young Socceroos, and, of course, the First 11. I think he has 1 cap for the national side in various tournaments. He has completed his FFA AFC A licence in 2023. And so he starts next year. So look, I think he's still a bit of a kid. He's 34 years of age, or 35 maybe. I'm sort of disappointed that there's a chance he might not be playing. It doesn't say whether he'll be a player coach and give up playing altogether. It doesn't actually say he's retiring from playing. So maybe he'll be a bit of a Kenny Dalglish for a year and be a player coach. Difficult gig that by all accounts. But I'm sort of saddened that he might not be playing anymore. Would love to know from Campbelltown or from a reliable source out there. Send us a message and let us know if he's actually retiring from playing or not. But that's my pick of the week.
Very, very interesting. Who do I pick on? I'm going to pick on myself. Metro announced that they have a documentary coming out, which will be very, very interesting. We've seen a lot of these, I guess, around the world in recent times, but it'll be very interesting to, I guess, see it at a local level with the way I think Metro have been operating. They're almost treating themselves as a pro club, which is fair enough. That's the standards that coaches want to set. But I think it'll be a very, very interesting watch. I think it's coming out tonight. It's an 8-part series, so plenty of it to watch. Will you guys be tuning in and taking a look?
Depends on what time we finish here.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested to see what it's like, though. I've seen some of their training videos on YouTube as well. Danny Greystone posts them himself. So if it's more like that and maybe behind the scenes as well, I'd be interested to see what it's like.
Yeah, me too. I'm quite keen to have a look at it. I think it's great. Although it's in 8 parts or something, though, isn't it?
Yeah, 8 parts.
So I'm interested to see how they fill in the time, because that what are each part about 45 minutes. No, good on them. Look, I'm just jesting. I shouldn't probably. I'm not. I don't mean to mock. I think it's great, and I think it's. I'm really looking forward to having a look at it. So good on them.
Is it the same vein as the Playford one that they did? Because I know they've done something similar, haven't they? They've released they've done a video as well of their time, sort of like a Welcome to Wrexham style, I think. Haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I think it might be in the same sort of vein. I don't know. But it'd be interesting to see. And if Playford I know Playford have released one, it'd be interesting to see theirs as well. I haven't had a chance to watch them yet. Maybe when the season finishes and we actually have time away from the local game, I can actually watch it. So.
The local game meaning Johnny's show?
No, just in general. Well, that too, actually. Yeah, his show's coming to an end as obviously as the season finishes as well. So, but yeah, no, just the game in general.
Mark, we'll move on to you for your pick. While we have.
Well, it's funny enough, sticking in the vein of coaching and things like that. Adelaide Cobras announced that they've moved Josh Smith, who is currently the first team coach. They've moved him upstairs. He's now going to be the football technical director for their seniors moving forward as of now, basically. We know Josh has had roles with Vanuatu Football Federation, Central Coast, Adelaide United, Adelaide City, and FK Beergrad. So he's been around the traps, been a good coach as well. And obviously, so great for Adelaide Cobras to instill such a wealth of knowledge into their senior football technical director role. So that's fantastic to see. More clubs are obviously putting more and more of these players or people into those roles. So it's great for the club and for Josh to move and hopefully bring Cobras some joy and a game plan as I hope he instrumental in developing the club's playing style, which should be great to see.
Absolutely. And finally, Alessio, on to you. What do you have for us?
Yeah, so obviously I mentioned it in my broadcast at the last game of the season with Sturt and Cobras. And yeah, it's the end of an era for Lino Fusco after 7 years in charge of Sturt Lions. Obviously, this year was a tougher year. A lot of his team that had the success in 2020 and 2018, not 2017 maybe is when they won the promotion year. But yeah, between those 2 years and all the years he made finals as well in prior years. Actually, I don't think he came in 2018 when they were in the MPL, sorry. But yeah, this 7 years, he obviously had a lot of success. A lot of this team has changed now, probably from that picture. I mean, 1, 2, 3 players remain there from that team right there. Possibly 4. And obviously the coaching staff has pretty much changed all since then as well. But it's been a tough year for him this year, bringing in only a couple of youngsters, and obviously they just missed out on finals. But yeah, it's a new beginning for them. Obviously, I was allowed to announce. I made sure I called him before the game. But John Fusco is going to be the coach at Sturt Lions 2025, and he is going to be hanging up the boots. But I think the first cup game they're going to play it as his send-off game, because I guess they didn't really have one last Friday night. So that'll be his final game, and I don't know, Mark, you reckon it's like 660 or something like that, senior games?
It's crazy how many games he's played. But I think he's over 560, I think, something like that.
Yeah, he's definitely in the 600s at least. But my co-commentator on Friday night was Daniel Costello, and he said that he started playing with him when I think John was maybe 31 or so. He had a 10-year career, and John's still playing. So it'd be a good step into management for him. And I know he's looking at a couple of players that'll be featuring in the final series in the next couple of weeks. So I think he's going to go big, and he wants a team that's going to contest to get promoted straight away. So I'd like to see what he does as a coach. I know he's a hard player, and players like you guys probably would have played against him or seen him play. I don't know, maybe even David played against him, to be honest. But,
yeah, you can't be that old.
No, mate, he's 45, and he made his NSL debut in 1999. So
I would have played I had one season in State League in 1994 or maybe 5.
Okay.
And then I went
Oh, that's-
backpacking and dancing. And then when I came back, I played in the amateur league. So I only had one season in the State League.
Yeah, well, he might have been in the Adelaide City youth team by then, but I'm not sure which league they played in. But either way, it's a big thing for Sturt Lions, and I'm sure he's going to retain some of his players that he played with himself. But yeah, it's a new beginning for them, and now he's got the facilities. He's got obviously himself as a coach. He can bring what he can bring. Everybody would love to play under a player like him with the experience he has, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting state league next year, especially with the teams coming in as well.
Here we go, confirmed from Alessio Carocci onto the results from State League 2, the final round, which, of course, Alessio, you were involved in. Noarlunga beating Port Adelaide 6-2, Adelaide Uni 3-0 over the Hills Hawks, Seaford losing 5-0 to Cove.
This
Eastern
is not
United.
the last week. This is round 21.
Have I?
Yes, because we played Port.
Yeah, it is. Oopsie.
Good
Any
start.
of the guys about
Real
doing
good.
this live, Seb?
Maybe a little bit, you know.
Just edit. You edit. It's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody
I've got it
will
now.
know.
I've got it now.
Good.
Okay, Gawler Eagles 4-1 over Eastern United. Cove winning 4-0 over Adelaide Uni. Noarlunga 6-0 winners over Adelaide Hills Hawks. Northern Demons beating Seaford Rangers 3-1. Pontian 4-1 over Modbury Vista. And Port Adelaide 4-1 over Mount Barker United. Who would like to take the reins to start off with?
Not me, because I haven't got it in front of me yet. Sorry.
Surely,
Well,
Alessio.
I
You've got to
didn't
talk about
either.
your game, Alessio.
Yeah, I could talk about our games as well. And I think if you look at those results, I mean, one of the biggest surprises, Eastern versus Gawler, 4-1 to the home team Gawler, which I thought was a madness. I mean, all of our predictions, I have them here. Seb with 3-0 Eastern, me 4-1 Eastern, Mark 4-0 Eastern, David 3-0 Eastern. And yeah, the home team has finished the season with aplomb. I mean, that's kind of what you want, even if you had such a bad season. Beating a team that is playing in the final series and guarantee it, that's not the form you want to go into this season with. But I watched those goals as well, and it looked like Gawler were there all day. It was obviously that home pitch, and I'm pretty sure right after the Seaford goal, a minute later, Gawler scored from the kickoff. So, I mean, they've got a bit of happy fortune at home there, it seems. But otherwise, I think that was one of the biggest results. The other one probably was Cove versus Adelaide Uni. I mean, they were both, I think, 1 point difference in the second place at the start of the day, and had potential. They could have won the league if Pontian had other results go their way and goal difference as well. But it seems Cove are just in that form at the moment, in their pomp. 5 wins in a row, no goals conceded as well in the last 5 games. Very big. And that's at least the last 5 games. I don't know how much further that goes past, but they're obviously in really good form coming into the final series, secured that second spot as well. Now Adelaide Uni are going to have to face the tough battle of playing at home to Eastern United, that team where we don't know what either of them going to do, but 2 teams coming off poor form in the last game of the season. That's going to be a big one. I'll let David maybe talk about the Hills Hawks game if he finds that one. And there's Demons and the Pontian one. I guess Marc can do one of them as well. But yeah, our game versus Port Adelaide. I've never been to Port Adelaide before, and I thought that it
In
was...
general.
I'm sure I've been there in my life. But the way I thought about where it was, I thought it was like, it's a West Side club near Beergrad, Western Strikers, whatever. You take 2 freeways to get there.
No, keep driving, mate. Keep driving.
I was surprised. I was like, it usually takes me like 20-25 to get across the city to the other side of the city. And I was like, 35 minutes. This is further than Mount Barker for me. People tell me Mount Barker's far. This place is very far away. But otherwise, the facility of the change rooms was very good. And they had some CSL games playing on the other pitch as well. One of our former players, Brad Thornham, was actually playing for Port Adelaide CSL on the pitch over. But coming into the game, we had many. I don't know why it happened, but we had so many outs the day of the game and the day before the game. So we had to call up a bunch of reserves, and our sub keeper was actually a player because the other people had pulled out, etc. We obviously gave a few debuts to some young players who have been around the club for a long time. They're actually brothers of players who play in the first team, and one of the second son of the president as well. But otherwise, yeah, we probably started the game pretty poorly. The pitch was actually, I'd say it's similar to Beergrad's pitch. It seemed like it might be used by like people walking their dogs and stuff during the week as well. It wasn't very flat or consistent, but otherwise, I mean, they obviously played it to the best they could, and they knew how to play on it well. Took a 3-0 lead in the first 15 minutes. Then we got into the game, and I thought we had the better end to the halves. Alex Metanomsky, obviously, he was his 200th game, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and Port Adelaide's one of his former sides, so he stepped up to take a penalty when we did get one. I didn't win it this time, but we did get one. He stepped up to take it, keeper saved, and it went to the other side where I wasn't standing, where somebody else tapped it in the rebound. Other than that, then they scored their own penalty just after halftime, and that probably ended things for us. We had a couple of chances near the end. I had one saved as well, which was pretty good. But yeah, all in all, it's a bit of a poor end to the season for us. But even for them, I mean, recently relegated team, and they only finished 3 points or more ahead of us in 9th. So I think a lot of people have got to go back to the drawing board for next season in State League 2. And I heard an interesting thing as well, that they were told that they had to beat us and Noarlunga to stay above the bottom 3, because apparently they were told the bottom 3 is getting relegated to the State League 3. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what that entails, if that was truthful or not. But yeah.
Who shall go next?
You go, Mark.
David, did you want to jump? Oh, I'll go. Which games do you want me to cover?
I'll talk very quickly about the Hawks. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay, so the Hawks they finished the season with a 6-0 loss at Noarlunga, unfortunately. 2-0 down at half time. And then there was a rush of goals around the 50th minute mark through to 60-minute mark. Cameron Gardner got a hat-trick for Noarlunga. And obviously a very disappointing way for the Hawks to finish the season. They'll be disappointed with that. They couldn't be caught by Gawler, even though Gawler had a win. It wasn't enough to go above the Hawks, so they do finish second bottom with 4 wins in the year. The only team in the league not to draw a game as well, I see. So that's how the Hawks have finished up. It was also Luke Smith's 300th. Well, the Hawks made a notice that it was his 300th, but then in the small writing it said 306. So I was a little bit unclear as to whether he maybe got to 300 6 weeks ago and they'd kind of forgotten, and then had put something in later to that effect. I'm not sure if all 300 games were first team games as well, but well done nonetheless to Luke Smith on getting up to that number of games. He must be tired after all that. That's all I've got for you in the Hawks. So, Mark, you want to do a couple?
Yeah, I was just going to follow up on that Noarlunga game. Just follow up with that, because I think they've actually probably punched above their weight this year with Noarlunga, and Glenn's done a fantastic job with the side they had. So I think they've done a great job down there. But then the Seaford game, for me, obviously going up against Northern Demons on last game of the season, away from home is never easy. So having to travel up there, 3-1 loss. So great for Northern Demons going into finals with a win there. And then obviously the other game is the Pontian Eagles and Modbury Vista game. Pontian's taking out the win 3-2. Kashindi adding to his goal tally for the year, which I think probably finished at around 20 goals, I think, this year. So massive amount of goals from Kashindi, and they'll be hoping that they can keep hold of him for next year, because I know there's probably some clubs circling. So, but great news for Pontians to take the title after, I think it was last year, they were quite low in the table. So massive turnaround and a big result for them to get to automatic promotion.
Yeah, just looking at it now, Kashindi finished on 25 league goals for the season. And he's also a youngster himself. I mean, only turning 22 this year as well. So I think, I reckon he'll have some definite suitors if they can try and keep hold of them there at Pontian. But I think with the team he has and some of the players around him, I think they've got a really good, solid core for next year. And I guess they're going to have to see what they can do. And I hope that they can maybe try and find a way to play out of their home ground. I mean, I don't know if you have to have a solid fence around it or not, but that'd be really, I think it'd be such a cool place to play their home games. I don't know if anyone's going to attempt to try and commentate out of there with no scaffold, and maybe you have to sit on the deck chairs amongst the rest of the fans. But I think it'd be a good facility if they could. It'd be one of those good home facilities on grass that is always tough to go to. You're seeing some of these big teams. I mean, imagine Olympic going away to Paralawi to play Pontian next year. It's going to be quite a sight.
Having a look at the final table for State League 2, Pontian, of course, finishing on top and promoted. Cove just behind them, with the other final spots being made up by Adelaide Uni, Modbury Vista, Northern Demons, and Eastern United. Then going to the other half of the table, Gawler Eagles finishing bottom on 10 points, with the Hills Hawks 2 points in front of them, Mount Barker on 19, Port Adelaide and Seaford on 25, with Noarlunga just outside of those final spots on 29 points. On to the WSL, was the second to last round last week. Adelaide Jaguars 2-1 over Western Strikers. Fulham United 7-1 losing 7-1 against Cove. Elizabeth Grove 4-1 against South Adelaide. Campbelltown 4-2 against Modbury Jets, and Croydon losing 18-0 to Modbury Vista. I suppose the game of the round out of those ones was that Campbelltown Modbury Jets game, where they were challenged in that one, of course conceding 2, but Campbelltown still looking to go unbeaten with 1 game to go.
Yeah, look, that was probably match around. I mean, we were talking, I think it was last week, we were talking about how Vista and Jets were 2 and 3, obviously both fighting for that that playoff spot. But that loss has really damaged the loss and the draw has really damaged their opportunity now, because it's a 7-point gap which they can't do anything with. So that more Vista, the Jets loss has really just cost them, and Vista have now obviously taken that second spot. So I don't think no one can catch them obviously with the ladder at the moment. So Vista have secured their promotion playoff.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess not too much to really talk about of going towards the final round, but yeah, Dave, we'll go on to you.
I was just going to say there is no playoff in this. Is there? First goes up, second goes into playoff with the team of this second pot of NPL. So it kind of makes, and I'm not a big fan of finals, but I guess this is maybe an argument for saying finals isn't actually a bad idea, because there isn't really a lot to talk about, to be honest, in this competition now, because the spots have already been set. I think they were even confirmed last week, and like you said, Mark, that loss and that draw for Jets has really cost them. But there's, unfortunately, without finals, there's not a lot to discuss in the Women's State League.
We'll have a look at the table. Campbelltown on top, already confirmed promoted to the WNPL next season. Modbury Vista will be in that playoff game against one of either Sturt Lions or Adelaide Uni. Then Elizabeth Grove having quite a good season in third place, with Modbury Jets behind them. Jaguars as well in 5th spot with the rest of the table. South Adelaide, Western Strikers, Cove, Fulham and Croydon. On to State League 1, where we were all around the place this week. Burkalla 4-1 over Vipers, which secured them automatic promotion. Cumberland 3-3 against Adelaide Blue Eagles. West Adelaide 7-0 over Adelaide victory. Salisbury United in what was a personally great game to commentate against Fulham 4-2. Playford winning 8-1 against 10 men of Western Strikers, and Adelaide Cobras 2-1 over Sturt Lions. This round, I'm not too sure as well, but I think it also might have the longest goals wrap which we've ever put out. It was 19 minutes long. So how
many goals in total was that?
I don't want to know. I can try to do the maths. Someone talk and I'll do the maths.
I was just curious more than anything else. You don't have to do that.
I want to now.
I can get things under. I'll get things underway. We're talking about the game I was at, which was West Adelaide at home to Adelaide victory. West Adelaide before the game needed a win to ensure they play finals football, but even if they did win, they also needed one of Sturt Lions or Salisbury to either draw or lose their game. Had they drawn in that game, they would have still made finals, but would have needed Salisbury to lose to Fulham. So a draw would have been enough, but they needed one result to go their way. And if they lost, they would have stayed in 7th and not made finals. So there was a lot on the line, obviously. Victory, to be honest, didn't really offer much in the way of resistance. So it looked most certain that West Adelaide would win. And they started very strongly. I still have got my little notes here in front of me. And George Katsagiannis was very impressive. He scored 3 on their way through to this victory. Now, there was a player called Peter Katsiambas who came on as a substitute and who scored for me a wonder goal that didn't even make the goals of the week selection this week.
I didn't pick him this week. I didn't pick him.
I'm not saying you did or you didn't. But well, this was a good goal actually. No, I've got my goals mixed up. This isn't the one I'm thinking of. Katsiambas scored after coming on as a substitute. Might be the 4th one actually. He's taken the ball or won the ball just inside his own half, and then just gone on a sprint, beaten maybe 2, maybe 3 players on his way through, and then has conducted for me one of the best celebrations I've seen in a long time. And it's not this goal either, so I have to keep talking.
Oh, no. I'll get you the celebration. I'll get you the celebration. Trust me.
The goal with the
You gotta get the goal. You gotta get the goal too.
Yeah. No. That's what I meant. Like I said, I'll get them both. Here you go.
David.
Talk us through it.
All right. Okay, so here's the ball here. Victory giving it away as they've been doing. He's picked the ball up there just inside his own half. He's beaten 1, beaten 2. Third one's coming over to close him down, but he gets the edge of the box. Shot there. Oh, look at that. And look at this for a celebration. Peter Katsambas, you legend. He probably could have got himself into bother for the referee for that. He's jumped the fence and sat down in the crowd and become a spectator for a moment.
Do you know what I think the best part about that celebration is? The guy that sat next to him just timed his seat like absolutely spot on with him. So they both sat down at the exact. It was just timing wise, it just worked beautifully. It was terrific. And just as he sat down, it was just perfectly timed. They both sat down at the exact same time.
Yeah, it was great, and they all sat there next to each other. It was great. That was really good to see. So well done, you, Peter. I enjoyed that. But yeah, victory were really, unfortunately, nothing to write home about. And I mean, I think I've only seen one other State League One game this year, if that. And they were poor, unfortunately. And well done, West Adelaide. You guys want to talk about your games?
Yeah. I forgot who's. Mark, were you anywhere? I don't remember.
No, I watched the Bacala Vipers game.
Yes,
on the TV.
You can talk about that one.
And Connie was on that game, so I did watch that game whilst I was having all the other 5 games on my laptop, so that was great. But look, Bex, they went in front here about 13 minutes, and to be honest, from the game I watched, they didn't really look like giving it up. Once they took the lead, Scambiatera on fire, scored a hat trick, and to be honest, if that was it, I've seen them play a few times this year, and they've been really good throughout. Just a really good blend of players, and they all just work for each other. I mean, another good finish here from him. Just waited, picked his spot, good finish. But like I said, once they took the lead, it was kind of almost dead in the water. Like the Vipers just couldn't really do much outside of that. They did score 1, but by then I think it was already over. And Burks in the end is very deserved winners in this game, and then obviously took the title out. So I watched that game and had some good commentary with Connie on there. I'll let you talk about the Salisbury game, Seb, because I think you're on that. Johnny covered. I think Johnny was on the Playford Western Strikers game. I was watching some of that as well. And to be honest, once Playford took the lead in that game, it was all over for Western Strikers. They were already down. So it was Playford just a matter of scoring and making sure they did their job in winning. Strikers were down to 10 men for a majority of the game. They lost their goalkeeper for a foul outside the box. I'm not going to debate whether it should have been a red or a yellow.
Okay. So
I'll let people talk about that. I'm not. not interested, to be honest. So, but the one good highlight for Western Strikers, well, there was two highlights. One was the goal that they did score was is in goal of the week selection, so very well taken overhead kick. And the other one was obviously their long-standing captain, Adrian has retired. Absolute legend of the club. So it's a shame that this is a goal there. He took that very well. But long-standing player for Western Strikers, club legend, all-round top bloke, has retired now at the end of this season. It's a shame he couldn't help them stay up this year in the fact that they did go down again. But he does leave the club, but they're in a good position from a club point of view, not on the pitch, but at the moment, but the club itself is in a good position. So, but yeah, so shout out to Adrian. It's been an outstanding career, and I was lucky enough to play against him a couple of times. And yeah, so fair dues and all the best in retirement to him. And then I think that's pretty much it from me. I think there was another goal in there for goal of the week from one of the Playford players, I think.
Dan Ryan, yeah.
Yep. So there were some good goals. There should have been. They scored 8 of them. So yeah, this one here. Oh no, that's I think it might have been. Can't remember. But yeah, no, I did watch them all, and another good finish. So, but yeah, not a great night out for Strikers, but like I said, they're already down and probably played a few of the younger lads and getting ready for next year.
And Playford were on course for promotion for about the first 10, 15 minutes, weren't they, until Burkella woke up.
Yeah, till Burkella scored, yeah. And then, like I said, Burkella, once Burkella scored, it was pretty much all over.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I was at Salisbury, finally made it down to the train. It was a very, very good game, in complete honesty. Salisbury took the lead with a good goal here. Looked pretty much in control for most, if not all, of the game. And then Fulham just sort of had a burst of 2 goals, being quite fantastic, really. But again, Salisbury just not stopping as they have done all season. They've sort of just had that never say die attitude, and I spoke to Matt Gaston after the game, and he said the same thing pretty much. That they don't stop. Their expectations or have already been exceeded by making finals. Their goal was to just sort of stay up and be sustainable, but now they have a chance to be promoted possibly. So, and he said even if they did end in a 2-2 or they ended up losing this game, he still would have been happy with, I guess, the way the season had gone. And all that. Yeah, there's that goal there. It was a very good one, quite late on, which sort of, I guess, put hopes at Cobras. From what I heard, got them a bit excited. And then late set piece here coming in from Mitch Call, and then headed in just past Daniel Godley, who of course was his last game as well. He also retiring. He also had a few fans of kids behind the goals that were screaming out his name the whole time. I think they asked for his shirt, his gloves, and I think one of them asked for his underwear. I think I mentioned it in commentary. He was allowed to do that. But then, yeah, this late, pretty much the sealer screen was pretty much the confirming goal to make sure they made finals, and you could see what it really meant to them. But there was definitely some nervous moments towards the end. I had Gatto pretty much while I was commentating saying, "I'm nervous, Sebi. I'm nervous," while I was commentating, looking up at me, and I was just smiling at him. So yeah, it was good to see. It was a good night for them. The crowd was really good. It was very loud with those late goals. But all in all, a great match was had there at PSD Energy Park.
And I'll quickly jump on the last game unless Alessio wants to jump on the Cumbie Blue Eagles game. But I did watch some of that as well. Like I said, I had all the games going on the one screen at one stage. It was effectively whoever won was going to go above each other in the league, really. But the draw favoured Blue Eagles in the end. But yeah, Cumberland's taking some really good form into finals now. They've scored a lot of goals recently. Munro's found some really good form of late. So they'll be one to watch in the finals. But it was early goals, 4 and 10 minutes. De Silva doing what De Silva does and scoring from almost impossible angles. And then late on, I would say late, it was 80th minute that he scored the third goal, which was the eventual 3-3 equaliser. We just see in the highlights there was a penalty awarded and duly dispatched. But the last goal by De Silva, he's hit it well and from a long way out, caught the keeper off guard and made it finish 3-0, which, like I said, helped the Blue Eagles in the end stay in third position and Cumberland in fourth. So, like I said, it was nothing really. Neither of them could be caught. It was just basically playing out for whoever finished above each other in the end. So, so a bit of I wouldn't say dead rubber, but they were both finals bound already.
I've just got something to add, Seb, before we move on, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
That's the last of the.
No. There's one more game, which is Alessio's.
Okay, go Alessio.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just quickly talk about mine. We talked about just at the start how it was the last game for Lino Fusco and his coaching staff, but it was an interesting game by the time it eventually kicked off, and that just about got there in time. And we're actually sitting right next to some of the fans of Cobras, and they were sharing the live stream with us next to us, and they were like, "Oh, I'm surprised there was commentary on this game, etc." But yeah, it was the Harpers link up the whole day. Those two strikers were just too quick for the back line of Sturt Lions, and Sturt Lions just didn't really kick into gear for a long time in this game. And I was surprised. I mean, so was my commentator Daniel Costello, that it took them that long, knowing that a win would guarantee them finals no matter how results elsewhere go. But it's just been the story of Sturt Lions season. They started poor, come back with some form, probably could have won some games that they drew in or stuff like that. And obviously, in the last game between these two, it was probably the turning point of their season when they were 2-0 down to them and won 3-2 in the last minute with a penalty. But in this game, they just had too much to come back from too early. Goal right after halftime here, double for Adam Harpers. And I think they were talking about it after the game, Adam and Nicholas Harpers, that they both finished on 9 league goals for the season. But I think Nicholas Harpers had 1 in the cup, so they were trying to argue about who's going to get the golden boot. But then this was in the goal of the week as well. Probably sparked some life into the whole game. I mean, after that goal, Sturt Lions were definitely on the up. John Fusco came on up top as well, had some very big chances and great saves from the other Nicholas Harpers in goals. But after this goal happened, Sturt were really pushing for another one. Obviously, still a win would have got them through. But during that Fulham versus Salisbury game, when it was drawing there, Cobras just needed to hold on to the win and they would make finals, and Sturt needed a draw to get themselves into finals at that point. So until those late goals for Salisbury, there was a bit to play for, and you could hear it on the sidelines as well, where they got pretty animated on the Cobras bench when they knew that that was 2-2 in the other game, but obviously it didn't pay off in the end. I would say probably an unfortunate season for Cobras as well. I mean, after the highs of last year, losing the title on the final day to Croatia Raiders, finishing second, and then getting knocked out in the final series. They probably would have expected a bit better, but after some of the coaching changes and player changes this year, I think 7th is a good place to be, especially for the setup next year under a new coach and Josh Smith as the technical director. But either way, I think it was a good game for the neutral, and it was good to have Daniel Costello in the co-coms as well. I think he'll join me for this weekend's game between Cumberland and Salisbury as well. He's a former he's actually a former Bacala player, but he lives next to Cumberland. So he'll be a good one to have on. But I did mention as well to Lino Fusco after the game that Daniel and I might be the unlucky charm for him, because we both commentated the last third game in the NPL, and they lost 4-1 to Beergrad. And now they lost 2-1 in the last game away at Cobras. So either it's us or it's the grass pitches they don't like. But hopefully next time we commentate Sturt, it's a better result.
David, what did you want to add before we have a look at the table?
Okay, I wanted to add, in relation to this competition, that Tyler Bailey was championed off the park, the Adelaide Victory player. He's retiring as well, and so he was cheered off. He's a former West Adelaide player too. So just when someone mentioned before about retiring players, I just thought I'd give Tyler Bailey a bit of a mention as well.
Absolutely. Looking at the final table for State League One, Burkalla top and automatic promotion for them. Playford will have to try and make their way up through the final series, as will Blue Eagles, Cumberland, Salisbury, and West Adelaide. To the other half of the table, Cobras and Sturt just missing out, with Fulham in 9th, Vipers on 26 points in 10th, and then already relegated a few weeks ago, Western Strikers and Victory into State League 2 for next season. On
Hey,
to
Seb.
yes,
So
David.
I've got a scores update from some of the big games that are being played around the place tonight.
Yes, please.
Okay, so Adelaide Croatia Raiders are hosting Adelaide United, and the halftime score there is 1-0. And then in the big one, the big game, Handorf are 1-0 down against Vipers in Collegiate League Division 6. I don't have the scorer for you, but Handorf are bottom of the table, bottom of Division 6, and Vipers are third, as you guys probably already know, because we cover the whole lot here. Vipers coming into this, of course, with 3 wins in a row. Prior to that, a draw and a loss, but of course, Handorf have only had 2 wins all year. And I've got a roaming reporter there who's going to keep me updated with the score as the night goes on. His name is Paul Hyder, and he has advised me that the scoreboard, so Handorf put a new scoreboard in up at their ground a couple of years ago, and it looks very expensive, I'll put it that way, but it only works when they're winning. So when Handorf are getting beaten, it tends not to be on. And it's currently not on. So if I can see the lights come on, I'll know that they've at least drawn. But I'll keep you updated with the scores up there. And his son, Billy Hyder, is starting in the 11 as well. Just wanted to mention Billy as well. He's started. You guys would probably have already known all that, but I'll keep you posted as the evening progresses as to how those 2 games finish.
Thank you, David. Imagine if we did all that. Imagine if we did all of these leagues, then we did SASL, CSL, all the women's community leagues.
Oh. We wouldn't have jobs.
No.
Or listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
On to the WMPL for last round. West Adelaide 7-0 over Sturt Lions. SANTC 3-2 over Adelaide Uni. Adelaide Comets winning 11-1 against Adelaide City. Metro United losing 2-0 to Salisbury Inter, and West Torrens Burkalla beating Flinders United 6-0 in the end. David, we'll start with you because you were around the grounds. You were at Burkalla.
I was. I had an inclination to go to Burkalla. Actually, I was going to try and do a game on the Saturday, but just 2 games back to back on the Saturday. And there was a bit of a time in between. It was too much. But Burkalla's game wasn't until about 5 o'clock. Look at that sunset. It wasn't until 5 o'clock on the Sunday. So it was the only game on that day. So I headed down there with Johnny, and a convincing win for Burkalla, who started the game there with a Mariah Applin goal from about, 30-odd yards. She scored a second later on. This is Dylan Holmes cutting inside, weaving left, weaving right, and then back onto her left, tucking it into the far post. Another good goal, and that put them 2-0 up. Do you know what? The first half was fairly even. Flinders did okay through that first half. They weren't the better team, but they were kind of in it. Second half, they just sort of allowed West Torrens Burkalla just to get away with it a little bit and conceded a penalty there to go 3-0 down. And Maria Applin popped up to score again, another volley or another shot from distance. Good penalty that, wasn't it? Nicole Robertson. I think the next goal is maybe Applin's second one from memory. I shouldn't talk to the pictures. I'm hopeless at it. Oh, this is it here. Ball breaks to Applin here. She looks up, has a shot. Look at that. That's a cracker. I mean, great goal. I don't think the keeper can do much about that, really. Anyway, this was a game that Burkalla kind of needed to win to make sure they kept in touch with the top 5. Adelaide City were coming off a shock 11-1 loss that I don't think anybody expected. So Adelaide City had ended up on 22 points, and Burkilla coming into this game were on 21. So if Burkilla could get the win, it would obviously move them into the top 5 at Adelaide City's expense, and that's what indeed happened. It means that the two of them play each other this weekend, and a win or a draw for Burkilla against Adelaide City is enough for them to finish top 5. Adelaide City, the equation is simple: they must win if they're to play finals football. But yeah, a thoroughly entertaining game. Really enjoyed it. Good night out. We had a little bit of an incident with a table that collapsed.
I was going to say, how was commentating there?
So, a funny wee story for you. I'll try to be really quick. I got there and I put the table up and put all of the kit on the table. And as I'd done it, I'd noticed that the leg wasn't particularly secure on the table. And I thought, when Johnny gets here, I must remember to let him know that the table's maybe not secure. Of course, I completely forgot. And 7 minutes into the game, I'd made a bit of a verbal misdemeanor. I pronounced the word canapé as canapes, which was a genuine error. And Johnny thought this was very funny, and in the momentum of that moment, he gave the table a little bit of a nudge, and the table just crashed below us. And on its descent, an effects button had been pressed, which changed our voices into monsters. Changed our voices into that.
I'll see if I can find it quickly.
Well, you need to go to just before 7 minutes, I think, in the game. And then there's this deathly silence. There's nothing from us at all while we try and work out how to do it. So Johnny's handed me
There was
the
a bit of
desk.
giggling.
Well, there was that's true. There was a bit of silence, and then when we got it all back up and running, there was a lot of giggling, just to fit the giggles. So I guess, look, if you didn't know what was going on, you probably wouldn't think it was that funny. But if you could see us, and the cameraman's dad was there, and he came up to help us put the table back up. I was holding the desk, trying to commentate and so on. But yeah, it was just one of those moments that probably wouldn't have been very funny.
Do you want to see it again, David?
Yeah, okay. So have you got the bit where I go canapes? Because that's what triggers it.
No, I don't have that. I have the monster voice.
Okay.
I can honestly say I'm uncultured enough to have thought it was called canapes.
Oh no. Once more.
Then silence.
Then the silence, yeah. And the silence went for about, I don't know, probably only, 15 seconds. Excuse me. And then we got it up and running again. But then I was holding the desk while the cameraman's dad was reassembling the table, and we just had the giggles. It was a fun night. And do you know what? All that to the side, a great game of football, girls, both sides. It was great to be there to see that, and some talent out there that makes me proud to say that the WNPL is ours. To be honest, it was a good game, despite a blown out score. By the time we got to the end of it, it was good to watch.
Well, I mean, speaking of blowout scores, Comets versus Adelaide City was played on Saturday. Mark, we'll talk about this one. 11-1. We didn't even notice the score until later that night because we were all distracted by the State League One. But 11-1 against Adelaide City it's weird.
I was going to say, it's not just it's such a strange scoreline. I mean,
it's out of nowhere as well.
It is. I mean, Comets have been the second best side all year, so they go into it as favourites. But to be honest, to beat an Adelaide City side 11-1, it just doesn't sound right. But it just sounds like there's something wrong. But you look at the City lineup, and it wasn't as though they were resting players or anything like that. It was a relatively strong side. So you're sort of going, what's going on? So it's just one of those days where I think everything just seemed to work for Comets. I mean, Sugihara scoring a hat-trick. You got Emily Hazelwood as well scoring a hat-trick. So 2 hat-tricks in the game. You're just sort of going, like I said, it's just a strange scoreline because of the fact is you just don't expect that. I mean, we were all worried about the State League One and that. And then as you do, all of us do, no doubt, we all go through the results from all the leagues on the Saturday night and you're sort of going, did that just happen? How did that happen? But I mean, it's just a very, very strange scoreline. And I mean, at 50 minutes, it's gone to 6-0, and then it's sort of you going, well, there's still 4 goals to go in the last. Well, for Comets anyway, still 4 goals, 5 goals to go in the last sort of 30 minutes. You're sort of going, my God, what's. And just be fair, that was a very tidy finish too. So, but yeah, look, great for Comets, obviously going into the last round of the season, especially coming up with finals. Not so good, obviously, for Adelaide City. They've now got to play for finals next week when they take on Bacala. So it does bode well for Bacala, really. When you look at it, they've scored 6 last week. They're going into a team that lost 11-1. So it's all for Adelaide City to do, really.
Can I just add a little comment to the end of that? So I've seen Adelaide City a couple of times this year, and the one game that stood out for me this year and still remains for me probably the best game I've seen all year across NPL and WNPL and all the others was the 6-6 game between Adelaide City when they went to Sturt. And I went there and in the pouring rain, freezing cold one Friday night, kind of expecting an Adelaide City blowout because at that point in time, Sturt hadn't scored for about a month and a half, and just weren't a side that was playing well. They weren't winning games, is the short of it. And that game ended up 6-6. But what I observed in Adelaide City that night, and also in another game that I watched as well, I felt they were guilty of giving the ball away cheaply in midfield, and I felt that when their backline was tested, they didn't pass the test. When they were under pressure, their backline wasn't great. And they were the 2 reasons that I felt, or the 2 areas that I felt Sturt were the difference between, what am I trying to say? Those 2, their guilt of giving the ball away cheaply in midfield and their suspect defence when under pressure were the reasons I felt Sturt got 6 goals against Adelaide City that winter's night on that Friday at Kirinya Reserve. And so I would never have expected an 11-1 win, but I saw frailties in Adelaide City's setup in that Sturt game and in another game that I watched as well. I can't remember who that was, that made me think this is a side that is capable of conceding heavily. I mean, 6 goals against Sturt at a time when Sturt couldn't get a single goal in 6 weeks was extraordinary. Just wanted to add that.
No, absolutely. It's quite fascinating to see what has happened this round, really. Very much looking forward to the final round. Of course, we'll talk about it later, but the Bacala City game is probably the one to get most excited for. We'll look at the table just going into the final round. West Adelaide, of course, top and already confirmed league winners on 46 points with Comets behind them. They'll be secure in second place. So are Salisbury Inter in third, and then that 4th and 5th spot is to go between one of NTC, Bacala and Adelaide City, with Metro and Flinders unable to make finals, also unable to get relegated, and then Sturt and Uni, depending on results, to see who will be automatically relegated and finding out who will be in that playoff spot against Modbury Vista. On to the NPL for the men. Adelaide City 2-0 over Adelaide Olympic. Adelaide Croatia Raiders 2-1 loss against Adelaide United. FK Beograd playing out a 1-1 draw against Croydon. Campbelltown 3-0 over Modbury Jets. Metro winning 3-0 over Adelaide Comets, which secured them the title, and what seemed like to be a great game, Mark, down at South Adelaide between South Adelaide and Para Hills, it seemed. It was a bit wild down there for the whole time.
Well, the first 45 was pretty fantastic. We had 5 goals in the first half, but then went quiet in the second, so it was a little bit disappointing second half, to be honest. But no, we can start there. It's so basically it come down to quite a bit in the fact that Para Hills needed to win. And Smith here getting off to an absolute great start with a bending sort of knuckleball that deceived the Yeomans in goal. So Para Hills took the early lead. But Souths were never out of the game, which most of the games this year have been the case. They've only lost games. There's not many games they've been absolutely trumped in. And little things don't go their way. So, but Para Hills certainly playing for their life. You could see it. JJ Rideout scoring his, I think it might have been his 15th or 16th goal of the season. But they're the goals that we come to expect from from JJ right out. And unfortunately, again, just Conant in the right place at the right time to make it 3-1. South came back and scored the second one. But like I said, after that, it was just second half, just a lot of huffing and puffing, and teams not quite getting there. And Parahools were, like I said, Parahools just were there for the win. They got the win. They stayed up. So huge effort from them in the end. I mean, you wouldn't have thought they'd be in that position considering most of the season they'd been sort of doing okay. But then towards the end of the season, obviously they fell into that relegation battle and managed to get through with help from Adelaide City.
Absolutely. David, going to catch him off guard here.
You can't catch me off guard. I know exactly where the mute button is.
Where were you?
I was at Adelaide Croatia Raiders versus Adelaide United's youth team. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, do you want to tell us about
it? I went down to the Croatian Sports Centre and the game had barely started when Joey Garuccio scored in the third minute.
I don't think any of the other games had started yet either, to be honest.
Was that? Oh, they were all. Yeah, there was a bit of a mix-up, wasn't there, with them all supposed to be starting concurrently, and I think we had a 5-minute lead. But so Joey Garuccio's goal took me by surprise, took everyone by surprise. It scored very early on. Adelaide United came out the blocks, firing. It was a game they needed to win to be able to have a chance of making finals. For Croatia Raiders, finals wasn't an option, but they could possibly still be relegated. And Anthony Costa penalty, as you've just seen there, just after half time, 15 minutes into the second half, brought the scores level. And does this go straight to the goal now? Yeah, it does. So this is the goal, Adelaide United's winning goal with 4 minutes to go from Ryan White. Yeah, kind of looked like to me at the time that he'd miskicked it. So maybe he hadn't, maybe he entirely meant it. But it was the goal that ensured that they were going to be playing finals, really. There was still a chance that they might be caught by the teams below them. Was that FK Beograd and Croydon that were playing each other? So there was still that chance. But the goal came so late in the game that it looked likely that it would take them into finals. And it did. And for Croatia Raiders, I think, for them, it was they're playing Adelaide United tonight in the second biggest game in the region, behind the CSL Division 6 match between Handorf and Vipers. But for Adelaide, for Croatia Raiders, they could still mathematically be relegated. So I think that was possibly in their minds. There needed to be a 6 or 7 goal swing, so they needed to lose by 3 or 4, and results elsewhere also go by 3 or 4, or lose this one by 6 goals. So it was highly unlikely that they would go down, but it's still mathematically possible. So I think that was maybe just in the back of their minds. But when they got to sort of towards the end and the scores were still level, so 10 minutes to go, I think they probably felt they'd done enough. And they stay up in the NPL. Adelaide Croatia Raiders, they'll be there next year, along with the other promoted side from last year, Parahools Knights, which we had just looked at. So the 2 promoted sides stay up, and Adelaide United, with that 2-1 win, will be playing finals next week.
Very, very well. Alessio, on to you. You were up at Campbelltown.
Yeah, so what
sounded like was a very exciting game, from what I heard.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I guess we didn't really expect that Christian and I, the way that Mobby were going to set up. We knew they had a couple of injuries coming into the game from the Australia Cup, and obviously went to the distance as well. But I guess they knew as well, and maybe expected Metro to put out a better performance themselves in their game. So the way they set up from the start, Modbury, was 5 at the back, 4 in midfield, Hamish McCabe running up by himself up top. They just wanted to park for the draw, which would have obviously, on goal difference, kept them above Campbelltown, and they wouldn't even had to try too much in the game. But obviously it took to about, I think it might have been the 65th minute or so before the floodgates opened. And then finally it was on this left side where a few of them happened, found the free man at the back post, and they got a few Campbelltown. And then, to be honest, Melbourne actually did come out of the shell a little bit more. They were pressing a bit more around the front line, especially. I think Hamish McCabe had a couple of shots himself, but this is a great goal from Josh Murray. As soon as I saw him get it in this position, I was like, he loves this position. He's going to do something here. It's his favourite position to get as a winger. isolating the fullback, and the fullback was Makeda as well, and not natural defender as well. So taking it to the ground easy and finishing it in the top corner was fantastic. In the change rooms after as well, the president Donnelly and Bruno had a few interesting things to say as well, which was always good to hear him talk about the final series, Adelaide United, and what teams they play, what players they play. Sorry, in that especially, and that they hope that they'd see Modbury later on. But yeah, it was a better performance from Modbury. Obviously, they've been in quite good form as well the last couple of weeks, and Chris and I were both saying that they would. I guess it started to expect them to go for the league. Had a few poor results in the end, but over the recent couple of weeks, they've been grinding out results themselves. I don't think they've conceded in about a month or more. And it was also good to see some of the injured players come back. Shogo Yoshikawa came back after a long hamstring injury. James Boffa was in the starting lineup as well. And I think on the sidelines was Joe Allwright. He was being rested for the day. And I think that's all they had out. But I was going to go on your point as well, Mark or David, about the promoted teams staying up. Obviously, in the Premier League, that's such a different story. But what is usually the case in the NPL is the teams that get promoted from the State League the previous year make finals. And I think I was looking at the stats across all three leagues today. And the two teams that got relegated from State League 1, one of them made the finals in State League 2. The two teams that got relegated from the NPL, one of them made finals. The two teams that got promoted from the State League, one of them made finals. The two teams that got promoted from the NPL, the only one that didn't make finals. So it goes to show probably got about 50% chance that you'll make finals if you're getting promoted or relegated from whichever division. But I thought it was an interesting stat to see. I mean, the last couple of years, you've had your Sturt Lions, Blue Eagles, Raiders, South Adelaide getting promoted and making finals in the first year. But obviously this year was such a tight league to contest, and it ultimately didn't happen. And I think maybe this is a good time, Seb, for me to introduce some of the points from our predictions this year.
Oh, if you want to.
I would say, did you want to finish the league first, or you want to quickly talk about the rest of the games, or we got Metro game, we got Metro game, Metro. Yeah. Well, considering they won, and also obviously, I'll just quickly touch on the FK Belgrade Croydon game. FK Belgrade needed to win, I think, to push for a final spot in the end. They scored late. Craig Shearer again popping up and scoring very late in the game, in the 89th minute. So at that stage, they would have been thinking yes, because I think if they'd have won that, they would have made finals, regardless of the other results. And then a couple of minutes later, Jaden Diamantis stepped up in the 92nd minute to score an equaliser, which I think, going from memory, ended up that cost them the spot in the finals in the end, with this finish there. So, which I think took a deflection, but. So nothing major happened in the game until sort of late in the game, very late in the game. And then, FK Belgrade, I think, like I said, losing their spot in finals with that draw.
I'll talk about the Comets Metro game, the game which sealed them the league title for Metro in the end on a final day. First goal stemming from a Hamish Gow set piece. Cameron Woodfin got 2 that night. It was actually probably one of the standouts as well for the match, as well as Fabian Barbiero also getting on the score sheet with quite a wonderful little goal. Metro went up early, which pretty much, I guess, set the tone of the match as a whole and the rest of the night, really. You know, we weren't sure what to expect, whether it was drama or here's that goal from Fabian Barbiero. Lovely curling effort. 2-0 really just sort of set the tone, and we pretty much knew what was going to happen for the rest of the night. I think it was sort of knew that City won the Metro had won the league, and that it was pretty much over pretty early on, but still a good game from Metro in the end. Played well, did what they needed to do after what was a disappointing game last week against City. But yeah, congratulations. Does anyone want to touch on quickly just on the City Olympic game as well?
Yeah, I can if you like. Olympic had to win. It was as simple as that. They were in the box seat because they were above the relegation zones. They were sitting in 10th before the game, so they knew it was in the box. They were in the box seat. They get a result, they would have stayed up. They get the win, they would have stayed up. And unfortunately for them, Adelaide City just too strong. Very late goal there from Bressan, who I think ended up finishing Adelaide City's top goal scorer from midfield. But Adelaide City doing enough to take out the game and condemn Olympic to being relegated and playing State League One for 2025. I saw a post from Olympic and the chairman of Adelaide Olympic. Very classy touch actually from him to sort of highlight the club's predicament. And yeah, they'll be back stronger and hopefully bigger next season. So, but yeah, like I said, Olympic. They did everything right. They won those 2 games to get themselves out of trouble, and then unfortunately couldn't do the job in the last round, and South Adelaide couldn't help them out.
Got 2 comments I'd like to make, Seb, if that's okay.
Of course.
Okay, so the first comment is on the crowds. I don't know if you guys noticed as we were looking through those reels there, but the crowds are really healthy. So at my game on Friday night down at Croatia Raiders, of course, everybody's in the Croatian club eating and drinking beforehand, so it looks quite quiet. But when the game got underway, I mean, I reckon there was probably up near, my estimate was just under 1,000. The cameraman I was on with, Elia, reckoned maybe 800. But when I was looking at those games there, the Metro game there, the Adelaide City game there, they all looked like they had really good crowds. So that was fantastic to sort of note.
Even my game, there was quite a lot in front of me in the camera, and obviously above in the small stand they have as well. But I thought there was quite a lot there from both ends, because Mulberry had a good contingent as well.
Yeah, and Beograd Croydon, that looked packed as well. It just looked like the crowd numbers were really healthy. And the other thing I'm just going to quickly mention is that there has been a penalty in Collegiate League Division 6. The big game of the night, of course, between 12th placed Handorf and 3rd placed Vipers. And Timothy Day had won a penalty after being fouled by the Handorf goalkeeper, Thomas Cribb. Timothy Day has taken the penalty, Cribb has saved it, and then Timothy Day has blazed the rebound over the bar. It remains 1-0 Vipers' favour, and the electronic scoreboard is still switched off at Handorf because they're losing. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you, David. Very good to hear. Looking at the final table for the season, Metro finishing top on 43 points. Campbelltown in second, just 2 points behind them. Then they're rounding out the final spots. Mulberry Jets, Adelaide City, Adelaide Comets, and Adelaide United. The bottom half of the table being made up of FK Beograd, Croydon, Croatia, Para Hills in 10th, and the 2 relegated sides of Olympic and South Adelaide. Now, Alessio, I'll let you go first with what you have for us.
Well, I sent Seb the final game
did.
predictions picture. So this has got triple points. So for every correct winner, you get 3 points instead of 1. And for every correct scoreline, you get 9 points instead of 3. So actually, everyone did quite well along the board. I mean, Seb got
Mark
8.
Mark is absolutely gutted.
Seb, it doesn't change much until the next thing, but it got people a lot closer, I guess. Seb got 8 correct winners and 1 correct scoreline of Adelaide City winning 2-0. Mark got 9 correct games, which was quite good. I think he got 5 out of 6 in the State League 1 correct winners, which was a big highlight. And he got 1 correct scoreline of Pontian winning 3-2 in the State League 2. David got 11 correct winners.
Oi!
With 2 leagues, he got 4 out of 6 in as well. So that was quite a big highlight. And myself, I got 10 correct winners and 2 correct scorelines of Campbelltown 3-0 and Bacala 4-1. So with those points, Seb got 33 points this week. David got 36 points this week. Mark got 36 points this week. And I got 48 points this week. So if that goes to that, that's what it brings the table to. Nothing changing again, but closer around the board. The next thing I went on was our ladder predictions from the start of the season. I think they might be on Instagram or Facebook, Seb, if you have, or you might have had them from last week as well.
Yes, I can get them up.
So to explain it to David, you get 10.
Yeah,
because he's
to explain it to the old man.
No, was not here. He wasn't here at the start of when we started streaming. But the way I did it was you get 10 points for every correct team in the on the ladder that you predicted in their position. If you get the right position of where they finished, 10 points. If you correctly get our team that was in the bottom two, one of the relegated team, that's +3 for every team you got correct in there. Obviously, different order or correct order, whichever. You get 7 points for if you pick the two teams that finish in the top two. And then 5 points for every team you picked that made finals in different orders as well.
Right, okay.
So, Seb got.
Do you get any points for picking the? Do you get any points for having the 12 teams in the NPL finish in the top 12?
plus 0. So yeah, Seb had one team in the correct position. I'm pretty sure that's Croydon. He predicted them in 8th. They got in 8th. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Most people got either Croydon or B grade. A lot of people had them in the right position. He obviously had Olympic as one of his teams that got relegated, so that's 3. Campbelltown and Metro, obviously the teams that were in the title race for the top 2, but different orders. So, and then 3 teams that made finals. So Adelaide City, Adelaide United, and Modbury Jets made the top 6. For Mark, he got one team that was also correct, and I'm pretty sure, looking at it,
FK B grade.
no, it would have been Adelaide City. I'm pretty sure because B grade didn't make the finals. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong list. Yeah, it would have been B grade. Sorry, yes, I didn't do Johnny's. But yeah, B grade. Sorry, is the one he got correct. Obviously, picked one of the relegated team, South Adelaide. Yep. Both teams in the top 2, Campbelltown and Metro. That's 7 points each, and 3 teams that are in finals of Adelaide United, Comets, Adelaide City. Now, David, he got 2 teams in correct positions, and they would have been
Olympic and Croydon.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even? Yeah. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Not Adelaide United. No. No, must not have been because you didn't get it.
No,
So,
Adelaide United
2 teams incorrect. 1 team, a correct relegated team in Olympic. Obviously, the top 2, Campbelltown and Metro, and 3 teams in finals as well: Adelaide City, Adelaide United, and Modbury. For myself, 4 teams in correct positions, and they are
FK B grade, Croydon.
Comets,
not Croydon.
I think, as well. No, not
Comets.
No, it would have been Olympic, South Adelaide, and Beograd.
Oh, you were the only 2 to get the 2 relegated sides right as well.
Yeah.
In the correct order.
Yes. And then
Well
I got
done,
the
you.
2, obviously, the 2 relegated teams as well. So that's 3 points for both. I didn't pick Metro to finish second, so I only got 1 point for a top 2 team, and that's Campbelltown. And then 2 teams to make finals, which were Modbury and Comets. So for all those points, Seb gets 42, Mark gets 42, David gets 52, and I get 63.
So Alessio's done it, so he wins.
It's fair for everybody. But
No, until you told me that you changed the rules today.
I'm pretty sure I still would have won even if we didn't do triple points.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
But that does make the final table. Me go to 261, Mark 250, David 225, and Seb 197.
So Alessio wins it with the very last round.
But it could have been more if we figured out what our state league predictions were.
How to
But
count.
I think they were too far back, and I don't think we would have had.
It would have
too many
also,
correct.
if we hadn't have had double points in the last round, which was announced today after we'd have put them all in.
We announced last week. We put
That
it
is
in the chat. I
brilliant.
found the chat because I was checking that it was triple points, not double points. Because I looked in the chat from last week, and I said we can do triple points for the last game of the season.
Bloody hell. It's amazing, isn't it?
But all in all, I mean, I think that averages out. Everybody probably got 3 teams that were in the finals.
I feel
Most
like
people had the
Adelaide
2
Uni after
relegated
round
teams.
12. I feel like Adelaide Uni after round 12. They're leading. Everyone's gone. Yep, they're going to win the title, and then they fell away in the back end of the season. Jeez.
Except Football South Australia didn't change the rules.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
I'm only kidding, Alessio. Look, all credit to you. You've done a great job all year, sitting there counting all that up. Good on you, mate. You deserve it.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, and we
Much
we
appreciated.
might have redemption in the final series. Could do double points for those ones.
You could just do single points and just start again for finals.
If you'd like, we could do that. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't care. So, shall we move? Shall we? What do we got next?
Well, I have. I'm bringing back what's it called? A segment. I've got some Who Am I's again.
Oh, that's good.
I've got 3 Who Am I's for you. All right. Let's see if Mark can win this one.
Oh, jeez. Actually, I won the last one, I think.
No. Well, let's see if David can get one. So, right. The first one, right? 5 questions. I've got 3, but 5 questions per person, right? All right. Number 1. I've played in MPL South Australia, MPL Victoria, MPL Northern New South Wales, and in the A-League Men's.
Simon Catanzaro.
No.
It might. Does he also might fit the criteria or?
Go on, David.
Blake Carpenter?
No.
No.
Go on,
So
have a guess,
played in
David.
which NPLs? South Australia,
Victoria and Northern New South Wales, and also played in the A-League.
but we don't know where he's from. Where did he start? We don't know that yet.
Just say
Stefan
player, David.
Valentini?
You can't guess again. You already had your guess. It's
Oh.
David's turn.
I thought
What did you say, Alessio? What did you say,
Double
Alessio?
double points for finals.
Yeah, I missed out on it as well. I didn't know who he said.
Somebody Valentino.
No. All right. Next one. I've played 9 A-League men games for one club, as well as in their NPL side.
REFPL?
No.
Costanzo.
Nope.
Yeah. Northern New South Wales is a very small league. I'm trying to think. Or like the
It is.
clubs in it are not.
David, do you want to have a guess?
No, no, don't know.
Do you want the next one?
Yep.
Next clue, yeah.
I'm a 25-year-old defensive player.
25. Where you haven't said where he currently plays
Nope.
or where he's from
Nope.
or where he started out.
Do you know what he had for breakfast too?
I don't think I'd get it on that.
What's that? What's the brother of Jordan Marisic? Whatever his name is. When he's played Adelaide City with the man bun.
You know the next one?
Yeah.
This one might help. I am of Ethiopian descent. Wow. Nothing at all. Current information, 25-year-old defensive player of Ethiopian descent and has played just under 10 games in the A-League.
Can you tell us like the Northern New South Wales club?
Nope, not yet. I can give you another clue.
Not a copper rock.
Nope. All right, I'll give you the next clue. I started on my A-League debut against Melbourne City, but came off at half-time due to an ankle injury.
Jared Abichu?
Yes, it is Yared Abichu.
Where did he play
Well
in Northern
done.
New South Wales, MPL?
Newcastle Olympic. And then he played for Green Gully as well in Victoria.
Yeah.
See?
Ethiopian.
one.
I would have known that.
All right, next one.
I apologise if I didn't know the heritage of the player I named as well, just in case.
I think he's
on to the
Guinea,
next
I'm
one.
pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's Ethiopian now that I think about it.
On to the next one. All right, first one. I've played in Sweden, Australia, Ireland, and Brazil.
Dylan Holmes.
No, but that's actually, I quite like that guess. That's knowledge, but no, it's not.
That's a good guess.
Yeah. No one? Next one.
Yeah.
I've captained my team on multiple occasions this year.
Cote Rojas.
That was one I was thinking of as well, but she would have played in Chile at some point, I'm sure.
What was that clue? They've captained their team this year.
On multiple occasions this year. I'll give you the next one. I'm Brazilian/Italian. I'll do the next one.
Is this a female? Do we know?
No, I haven't said
He
it.
hasn't
It's
said.
female
Is
or
it?
male.
Is
Okay.
it Dante?
No,
Valerie Guayardo.
no. I'll give you the
Oh,
next
yeah.
one. The clubs I have played for are Eskiltuna City, Home Farm FC, Cap Uberlandia, and Esporte Club San Jose.
Yeah, it doesn't help me.
Female.
It's got to be a female player, because especially like Sweden and USA.
San Jose is female. It's got to be female. So
Sao Jose. Not San Jose.
Brazil.
Last clue. I currently play in black and white. Oh, I've done good. Wow. I didn't think they were this good.
Gutierrez
No,
and not Guayardo.
no,
Definitely not one of those two.
no.
I can't. Who else would have been captain of Adelaide City this year, though? Not Ali Atkins.
I've played in Sweden, Australia, Ireland, Brazil. I've captained my team on multiple occasions this year. I'm Brazilian and Italian. I've played for Eskiltuna City, Home Farm, Cap Uberlandia, and Esporte Club Sao Jose, and I currently play in black and white.
De Oliveira.
Yes, David, it is.
well
it
done.
is a
Yes.
guy.
It is.
Well done.
Yous are all thinking Adelaide City. I got you.
I wasn't
Oh,
thinking Adelaide
women's
City
player,
actually.
yeah.
What were
I
you
was
thinking?
I was leaning down the women's way, so I was thinking possibly even Fulham or Adelaide Uni.
Yeah.
Well done, David. You
No,
got
that felt
one.
great. That felt good. And
What-
apologies to
what-
Gutierrez as well, because he's Argentinian, isn't he? He's not Brazilian. He's Argentinian. So, again, I'm getting them all mixed up. So.
You're making a lot of enemies.
Sorry.
What led you to
Yeah.
that answer, David? I'm intrigued.
I think when you went back through all the things you said and you said Brazilian, I went, oh, hang on a minute, Gutierrez isn't Brazilian, he's Argentinian. And then I thought Brazilian, well, the only one I can think of that plays in black and white might be that De Oliveira guy, what plays for Parahouse Knights. I'll say his name.
Well done. All right. Last one. First clue. I'm 28, but have played 3 games and scored twice for the under-20 Australian team.
Someone who uses fake ID.
I'll do the next clue. I played in the A-League and scored twice.
Anthony Costa.
No.
I think he's a little bit older than 28.
What was your first clue against Seb? Australian under
20s. Do the next clue. In South Australian local leagues, I've only played for one club. I'll go to the next clue. Oh,
Hang
Would you have
on,
a
hang
guess?
on, hang on. Just
okay.
hang on.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Currently
Well-
28, has played in the A-League.
And has only played for one club in SA, did you say?
Yeah.
and what was the 2 A-League goals? And
No. Oh, yeah, sorry. 2 A-League goals and two goals for the Australian under-20s.
Marc Marino?
It is Marc Marino. Well done. Got there in the end.
Very
Those
nice.
were good ones. I got you stumped. I'm happy with those. All right. As we normally do, we'll go through our predictions for the now men's final series and the women's final round coming up, starting with the State League 2 finals. Alessio, are you ready to write these down?
Yeah. Are we
All
going to confirm on a points tally for how many?
for Mark's sake?
Oh,
'Cause we can add these on to the scores as well and keep
It
going.
doesn't.
but-
Whatever's easy. Might as well just keep
It doesn't
going.
matter for me.
Just keep them going.
I can get all these right and you can get all of them wrong. I think I'm still losing.
You might as well just add them on.
All right. First game. Adelaide Uni versus Eastern United. I think this will be an Adelaide Uni win, 3-0.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than that, to be honest. Uni not in a coming off
Neither of them
a
are.
4-0 loss. And both of them had losses, but Uni this second half of the season are very inconsistent. I mean, you look at the first 12; they won the first 12, and then since then they only won another 4 games. So it's at Uni grounds. I'm gonna go Uni as well, Seb, but I just think it's gonna be a lot closer. I'm gonna go 2-1.
These games go straight to extra time and penalties as well.
Yeah, they will do.
Yeah.
So you guys
And this is
both normal
elimination.
time.
Is this elimination?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so this is
that's
straight
why.
knockout.
So you guys are both
Yeah,
going
90
to 90 minutes.
Yeah,
3-0
2-1 in
and
90. 2-1 in 90.
David?
I'll go for. I agree with you, Mark. I think this is going to be very close. I don't think Uni, like you say, they've only won a few games since the halfway point in the season. So I think this will be close. But I do think Uni will win this. I'll go for 3-2.
Other elimination final, Modbury Vista. Oh,
Hang on, you've got to
what-
wait for
What about
Alessio.
me?
Oh, sorry.
I'm going big with this one. I'm going 2-2 after extra time, and Eastern to win on penalties.
Which gets me an extra 3 points if that happens.
You still get your extra point if you both all think that it's going to just go to 90. That's still the distance.
Do you get an extra point per cousin that plays in the game, or?
I have no cousins in this. I have cousin playing in a reserves final series, but that's it.
State League 2 finals done. WSL for the final
Oh,
round, all games.
You missed
There's one
Modbury
more
Vista and
for
Northern
State
Demons, mate.
I
It's
said
still
that.
another
I
game,
said
dude.
that. I just
didn't
said that
predict
one.
any.
We haven't
we not?
given. I haven't given a result for Modbury Vista and Demons. Neither is
Oh.
David. Neither is Alessio. What
Oh,
are you
no, 'cause
smoking, mate?
No. No, do you know what happened? Is because I started talking about Modbury Vista and then I forgot about Alessio. So then Alessio spoke. And then in my head, that was him. So no. Okay, yes. Modbury Vista versus Northern Demons. I think Modbury Vista to win 2-0.
It's the 2-0.
I'm going to pick Vista in this one as well. I'll go for a 3-2.
Yeah, look. I'll go Mowbray Vista win 2-1 again.
You don't seem confident.
No, I'm not, to be honest. That's why I've only gone a 2-1. I'm not confident at all. I don't know what's going to happen. So, like I said, Demons are actually going into the game with better form. They've lost 1 in their last 5. Vista have lost 2 in the last 5. But the fact is, it's here in Adelaide and not up there. If it was up there, I would have gone actually Northern Demons win if it was in Perry.
I'm going to go Demons 3-2 win in extra time.
Very, very interesting. Now, State League 2 finals done. On to the WSL, all games being played concurrently this Sunday. Elizabeth Grove versus Fulham. This will be Elizabeth Grove for me.
Grove for me, comfortably.
Grove for me too, please.
Grove as well.
Mowbray Jets versus Adelaide Jaguars. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this one.
I'm going to go Jaguars win.
I'll go for a 3-3 draw.
Who are they versing again? Jaguars versus
Jets.
Mowbray Jets.
Actually, this league doesn't produce draws, though, does it? Really?
Not really. I'm going to go Jaguars win.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go for a Jack. I'm going to go for a Jet. I'll go for a Jets win 3-2.
Campbelltown versus Cove. Campbelltown for me, and they will finish the season invincible.
Yeah, I'm with you, Seb.
In
I think
red.
they'll win and go. I think they'll go 18-18.
Campbelltown for me too, please.
Campbelltown as well.
Mowbray Vista versus South Adelaide. I think we Vista for me, and they'll just, I guess, sort of see it as a lead up to their playoff game, which they already know who they're playing by then, actually, as well.
So they should know. Yeah, they'll know because the NWPL is Friday night. So, they'll know who they're playing. I'm actually going to go South Adelaide win just because Vista are going to they're safe. They're already playing that final. I think they might rest some players just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to South win.
I reckon I'll go South win as well.
I'm going to go for a Vista win 3-2.
And finally, to finish off the season, Croydon versus Western Strikers. Western Strikers for me.
I will go Western Strikers. Actually, I'm going to go draw. Why not?
I'll go
you never know what happened. Strikers might rest players. They might bring the reserves up to give them action. You never know. I'll just throw it out there. Why not?
I'm going to go with the Strikers win.
On to the State League 1 elimination finals. First up, Adelaide Blue Eagles versus West Adelaide, which I believe Johnny will be at. These games both being covered. I will go for. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a West Adelaide win, 2-1. Feel the Kilburn-itis has gotten to them, and they'll be happy.
It's at Blue Eagles ground, isn't it? It's at Martin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Blue Eagles 3-2.
I'm also, I think, going to go for Blue Eagles as well. West Adelaide were very impressive on Saturday night in the game I was at, but they were playing a victory side that were poor, in my opinion. It's just an opinion, but I think Blue Eagles will beat West Adelaide 3-2.
None of you guys reckon any of these games go on the distance?
No.
Are we supposed to be saying that?
If you want,
supposed to be
it's
saying-
either like to 90 or extra time or penalties, but
All
of
my
you guys
games will
are going
finish in 90.
Yeah. That's what you guys have both said, Feelers. But this is at Martin. I'm going to go 3-1 Adelaide Blue Eagles. Normal time.
next, Cumberland versus Salisbury, which Alessio, you will be at. I'm going to go, this one's going to go to extra time. But I'll stick. Yeah, I will. I will continue on the train. I'm going to go for a 3.
Got a few of these.
just happens to have a train nearby.
Got a few.
I'm going to go for a 3-2 win in extra time for Salisbury.
I'm going to go 2-2 at the end of extra time.
Wow.
I'm going to go Salisbury on penalties.
I'll go Salisbury to win this 3-2 in 120 minutes. It won't go to penalties, but it will go to extra time.
3-2, you said?
Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah, extra time. Well, I'm glad that you guys think this is all going to be a long one. I'm hoping for a big game there. And obviously, for the winner, if Salisbury win this and our results go as we expect with Blue Eagles winning, then it's going to be a 2-leg tie between Salisbury and Playford. And that would be a wild one. So I'm also going to go for a Salisbury win in this one. And I'm going to go 3-2 in normal time.
Very, very exciting. On to final round of the WMPL All Games at 8:15 this Friday night. What is first up? First up, Adelaide Uni versus Adelaide Comets. Uni need to win to make it off the bottom of the table as long as Sturt don't win. But I think Comets will still be too good for them and win.
Yeah, I think I'm on this game. I think this is the game I'll be on.
Yeah, you are. You are.
I am, yeah. I'm going to go with a Comets win, unfortunately, for Uni.
Yeah, Comets win for me as well, 3-2.
I will go. Where is it? So this is Uni versus Comet, did you say?
Yeah.
I'll go Comets win.
Sturt Lions versus Football SA. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
I'm going to go for.
They did beat them in the cup as well.
I'm going to go for an NTC win in this one, 3-2.
I'm going to go a draw.
I will go to wait and see it. So it's NTC versus Sturt, is it? You said? Or,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to go a draw as well. Yeah, 2-2 or something.
Flinders United versus Metro, the two sides which I guess can't really go anywhere. I'm going to go for a Metro win though to finish off the season.
I'm going to go a Flinders win to finish the season.
I'm going to go draw to finish the season.
David, you're the deciding vote.
I am going to go for, this is Metro and Flinders.
He's going to go for his upset, a draw.
No, I'm going to go for a Metro win. 4-0.
All right. Salisbury Inter versus West Adelaide. This is actually quite an interesting one. I'm going to go for a West Adelaide win, but I'm going to say it'll be 3-1.
Yeah, look, I can't go past West Adelaide. Funny enough, both teams of their last 5 have both won their last 5. But I'm going to go West Adelaide win, and they're going to finish the season with only 1 loss and 1 draw for the season.
Yeah, West Adelaide win for me as well. I'll go 4-3.
Yeah, I'll go the West Adelaide win as well.
And finally, probably the game of the round, which decides who makes finals and who doesn't. Adelaide City versus West Torrens Burkalla. My game for the Friday night. I'm going to go for a Burkalla win. In City to not make finals.
Yeah, I'm with you, Seb. I'm going to go a Burks win.
I'll go
I'm
with the
go-
Gala win as well.
I'm actually going to go for a draw in this one. I think City will be rattled and want to come back, and they'll be all motivated, and they'll have had a tough week in training, and they'll be hurting, and all of those things that they say. So they'll come out firing. But having seen Barcala be so ruthless against Flinders, especially the second half of the game on Sunday, I think Barcala are very strong. And I think Barcala will make finals, but I think this will be a draw. Barcala will make finals courtesy of a draw, and it'll be 3-3.
I haven't checked the forecast either, but I also predict and hope for good weather because this is nothing against Adelaide City at all. This is against the weather. I think almost exclusively had bad experiences in scaffolding at Adelaide City with the weather, as David can attest to alongside me as well. Nothing against Adelaide City whatsoever. It just seems whenever I go there, it seems to bucket and the equipment borderline almost gets destroyed. I haven't seen the weather, so fingers crossed it's okay for that night. But yes, I'm still looking forward to it. I do like going and doing a game there. On to the elimination finals for the men's MPL, Modbury Jets versus Adelaide United at Smith Partners Stadium. This is our game, Mark. I'm back with you. We haven't done a game for a while, have we?
We have no. I was going to say we haven't done a game for a while, so
I reckon.
I've got to drive all the way. I've got to drive all the way to Modbury.
God! Some Modbury.
No, I think our last game was the final.
Was
it? Would have been.
Nah, it was. It was the
last
derby.
game?
Yeah.
The Raiders FKB Grad Derby.
Back in round 7.
Raiders.
No, it wasn't last time I saw you. No, I was going to say it was the last time I saw you. No, it wasn't. Yes, I'm going to go for an Adelaide United.
Seb, just to appease your mind for Friday night, it's supposed to rain.
You're joking.
No, I'm not.
You're joking.
Cloudy, very high chance of rain clearing before dawn. So and then high chance of showers developing late morning and afternoon, and a chance of a thunderstorm around the hills and southern. So you might be all right, but there is supposed to be rain on the day. So as long as it doesn't come through, you'll be okay.
Cool. I'm going to go for an Adelaide United win in extra time, 3-2. Oh my God, it is supposed to rain.
Look, to be honest, I actually.
At least you're not on a roof when it's raining.
Yeah.
Are you at Cumbie?
Maybe they'll let us. There's the change rooms like right below, or the club rooms right below it. Remember those chairs that are facing the glass, like at Metro, maybe?
Are they still filming from the roof?
I just asked, Jaden. He said apparently.
Fair enough. I actually am with you. I think Adelaide United are going to get up in this game. Modbury I'm wondering if they've just run out of legs at this stage of the season. They've certainly not got the form at the moment. They've lost their last 3, so I'm going to go an Adelaide United win.
It's not raining at Modbury on Saturday, by the way, Mark, so that's good.
Oh, good. That's all right. That's how we're going.
Because I've also had a bad experience at Modbury with the weather.
Yes, I was going to. Yeah. I'm going to go Adelaide United 4-2 in extra time.
United 4-2, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, United 4-2 in extra time.
Yeah.
So 2-2 at the end of full time, 4-2 in extra time.
David.
Modbury are out of form. They've lost their last 3. Only won 2 in their last 5. But I fancy them. And that's at home. So I'm going to go for a Modbury win, 3-2.
Very, very much looking forward to that one. And
I
last
will
game.
go.
Oh yeah, forgot.
You're killing him tonight. You're killing him.
Head's gone.
I'll go a Modbury win, 4-3 in extra time.
I don't mind that as a commentator. Okay, everyone's definitely predicting.
I'm on that game. I want it to end in 90. Shit.
On to Adelaide City versus Adelaide Comets, where Connie's on that one. I'm going to go for a City win in normal time, 2-0.
Yeah, I'm with you, Seb. I think I'm going a City win as well. Comets struggling for form in the last 5, lost 3, drawn 1, 1-1. So their early season form are very strong defensively, has sort of gone by the wayside a little bit as the season's progressed. So, and City just the 3 wins. And obviously we all know what sort of happened to them at the start of the year or just after the start of the year. So for me, City, I'm going to go 3-2.
I'm also going to go for Adelaide City, and I also picked 3-2 in this one. They are in form just now. They have had a season where they've lost a bunch in a row, won a bunch in a row, lost a bunch in a row, won a bunch in a row, and they're currently on a bit of a roll. So I think they'll win this one 3-2.
City 3-2 as well. Both of them in normal time, Mark and David. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I don't know. I would like to see a lot of these games go to extra time, to be honest, because they're elimination ones. They're not going to be as like played out as when they used to have the 2-leg series straight up. So I'm going to go City 3-1 in extra time.
Very, very well. All right. That's pretty much everything done. Anything else for anybody else to add on to?
I've got a final score for you in the big match tonight.
Oh, yes.
Sorry,
Please,
Mark.
David.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, you go first.
No,
You go
I want to
first.
hear this.
Okay.
I want to know if that scoreboard's come on.
No. The scoreboard was never lit tonight. So I think they had it on at the start when the whistle went and it was nothing each. This is Handorf. CSL, Collegiate League, Division 6. Handorf sitting bottom of the ladder, seeking only their 3rd win of the whole year, playing Vipers, sitting up in 3rd. It must be Vipers. I imagine it might be Vipers' 4th team because their firsts and reserves obviously play in up in the State League. I've got a mental blank. State League 1. Yeah, and I think have they not got a team? I think they already have a team somewhere in the amateur league or maybe higher up in the collegiate league. So,
yeah, I reckon that would be it. Yeah.
So this must be Vipers, maybe their 4th team.
Could be
or
5th.
their
Could be
5th team.
grade.
Yeah, it could be their 5th team. And I know it's Handorf's 2nd team, their B grade. So it's Collegiate League Division 6. It's the big match tonight. There was another one at Croatia Raiders with Adelaide United, but the big one was this one. And I can tell you that Vipers have ended up winning the game 2-0. There was a goal 3 minutes from time from their star striker, number 9, Timothy Day. Timothy Day, assisted by, I believe, Thomas Hickman. And of course, they had Ryan McKee playing, they had Wendell Gomez, Sam Ryan, Andrew Turnbull, all the names that you guys are probably familiar with in that Vipers fifth grade lineup. But yeah, a 2-0 win for Vipers in the big match tonight.
Thank you for that, David.
Thanks to my reporter at the ground, Paul Hyder, for the information as well. Thank you.
Anything else from anyone else?
I could do a quick
usual.
Oh.
Just the usual from me. Shout out to TJ Goalkeeping Australia for sponsoring our Goalkeeper of the Year award, which we will announce in the coming weeks once we get that sorted. But yeah, so any goalkeeping needs, please reach out to myself or Tassie Breeden, and I can, if you don't know Tassie, I can point you in the right direction, and he can sort you out any goalkeeping needs that you may require. So yeah, shout out to TJ Goalkeeping Australia.
Anything from you, Alessio?
Not that I know of. I mean, I think we're going to get big crowds out to the games again this weekend because obviously there's less games, and annoyingly they are pretty much all at the same time. That's the only difference. But I think that was one of the main things last week was that all the NPL were just on Friday, so everybody could come, players at the other leagues as well, and the other ones the same. You could probably get in between as many as you could, but either way, it's going to be big for all these teams this weekend. I like that it's elimination straight from the off. It means all the games are people are going to come out and have to win, have to put everything on the line for them. Other than that, yeah, it should be a great weekend of football. Make sure everybody watches the live streams as well. And keep your ears close to the ground for some of the rumours as well that will happen from all these vacant coaching and playing and clubs looking to move things around for next season already. It all happens pretty quickly. So, keep your eyes and ears peeled.
Yes. I was going to say, I won't announce anything, but there's lots of coaching movements around the place already. So once clubs confirm, we'll let our listeners know. But yeah, there's lots already a lot of people already moving on and new coaches coming in.
David, finally with you. What do you have for us?
Did you want a quick who am I? I'm going to have a go at this.
Oh, okay.
I started my junior career playing for Lake Macquarie City, currently of the NPL Northern New South Wales.
Nah.
From there, I went straight to the English top flight, signing for Middlesbrough, where I remained until the end of my teenage years.
So I'm going to guess not currently playing.
No,
Okay.
Are you supposed to give me a name?
Nah.
I was born in South Africa. Will I move on?
Yes, please.
Okay. At the age of 20, I signed for Liverpool.
This is relevant, right?
I think so, yeah. When am I not relevant? I have never played for my country, Australia, despite being born in South Africa, but I made over 270 appearances and scored 40 goals for Liverpool.
Australian football. It's got to be. It's not the keeper.
What, Brad Jones?
Is it? No, I was thinking Bruce Grobbelaar, but he's not even. He wouldn't have played in Australia. Is it Craig Johnston? That's the only other Australian one I know.
Well done.
Yeah, good shout.
I've met him. He's signed one of my things as well when they came here to Australia.
I'll just quickly run through that again. So he started out his junior career at Lake Macquarie. I looked him up. They play in NPL Northern New South Wales. They're from Newcastle. He actually wrote to English clubs as a 15-year-old asking for a trial, and the only club that replied were Middlesbrough. And he went to Middlesbrough. His parents, it says here, sold their house. This is on Football Australia's website. His parents sold their house to help fund the ticket to England, and he went to Middlesbrough. He made his senior debut there as a teenager, and Liverpool then signed him in 1981, aged 20. He was born in South Africa, but was eligible to play for Australia, but never did. He made over 270 appearances and scored 40 goals for the Reds in an 8-year career at Merseyside, and returned to Australia in 1988. I think from memory, he helped design the Predator boot as well.
I'm just reading. He designed the Predator boot. Yeah.
Yeah. But that wasn't in here, so I thought I'll just go with what I've got here in the Football Australia page. So there you go. I've done one, and I enjoyed that.
Thank you, David. Always love your contribution. That's pretty much all from us for this week. Thank you for watching and listening. Season's slowly coming to an end, unfortunately for us, but still a bit more to come. But for this week, that's all, and we'll see you all soon.
See you later.
Catch up.
Says hope.
I just hit top bins. 1-2 touch, yeah, we're locked in. I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.